I don't really know how to do an intro for this video, but hi everyone, we are back with another guide for a new cookie, and that being a Malasauce cookie. But for real, you guys knew this was coming and it is finally here. Malasauce is the new Fire Smash tagger and is rare. She's actually incredibly strong, so I want to make a guide for her, and because she's new. Like before, there will be timestamps down below so you can skip to whatever portion of the video you would like, but you should totally watch it all. But yeah, no more yapping, we are going to get into it. On screen right now, you should see the Malasauce guide from the Tower of Builds Discord server. So again, shout out to them. They will be linked down below. I will be getting my information from this and from the guide inside the server itself, so yeah. Now, starting off with her artifacts, her best artifact is going to be a fulfilling meal, which is Plantain's signature artifact. While this is her best, it does come with a little bit of nuance. Now, the artifact itself gives a flat 35% attack, and its unique ability makes it so that way if Malasauce applies an elemental tag, all fire damage is increased by 14%. Now, this is phenomenal if you're running a pure fire team, or most importantly, a fire DPS. So yeah, this is her best artifact option, but you mainly want to run it if you are running a pure fire comp. Her second best option is going to be Path of Training. Now, Malasauce doesn't actually have her own artifact, so her best rare artifact is going to be Ninjas, as that flat 20% attack for 10 seconds is insane, meaning she can consistently get this off. Her third best option is going to be Newest Formula, as it makes it so that way each hit of her ultimate has a 40% chance to reduce fire elemental res, which just stacks on top of her passive, making her a debuffing monster. This is also the one most often used in raids. And finally, if you're running a pure fire comp, Warrior's Oath is also a viable option, as the elemental damage increase is nice. On to the weapons, her best weapon is going to be her unique weapon, the Searing Morningstar Anise. Very self-explanatory. Her best super epic set is going to be the Ghost Captain's Garb, and that's because of its passive, which is whenever the user uses their special skill, enemies' defense is reduced by 20%. Not only that, but it gives a 30% attack buff. This set is phenomenal as her entire premise is to reduce enemies' fire resistance using her passive, and on top of that, this set gives her a 20% defense shred, meaning she can allow Chili Peppers to do so much more damage. Her second best set is going to be Fire Demon's Raiment, and that's because it's the standard fire DPS set. If you somehow don't have a full set of Ghost Captain's Garb, then this is also pretty good, as she does a ton of fire damage. But it's not going to be as supporty, so if you want to build a DPS Malasauce, you very well could with this set. But remember, Ghost Captain's Garb is always going to be your better option. As for her epic equipment, we are going to start it off with the weapons with Boomerang Candy, Sturdy Baguette Staff, and the Golden Orange Choco Spear being her best weapons, all of which being offensive. For her headwear, we have the Radiant Golden Rose Crown and Mysterious Bamboo Hat as the best options, both of which pertaining to crit. For bodywear, Black Gothic Dress and Celestial Candy Cuirass are going to be your best options. And finally for legwear, Mystical Starlight Skirt and Dark Assassin Pants are going to be your best options. If you currently only have access to epic equipment, then Mystical Starlight Skirt should be your priority, as it's the only piece that can give debuff amp, which you desperately need. Like before, it's a little hard to explain hidden powers by just talking about it, so I'm going to put it back up on screen. But the idea is that for the weapon slash headwear, you want to focus on crit rate or crit damage, then fire elemental attack, then attack or fire damage. And then for the bodywear slash legwear, you want to focus on debuff amp and then crit rate or crit damage and then attack. For the notes down below, you do want to have around 50% debuff amp, and then you want to have your crit rate be around 60 to 80% with the crit damage being around 210 to 230. And then after that, you can start with fire elemental attack or damage. And finally, for her teammates, Chili Pepper is going to be her best teammate as she is a firefighter and she can fully utilize the fire resistance shred that Malasauce offers. Behind her is going to be Crushed Pepper Cookie, who is the current fire support. But for being a support, he does a decent amount of damage, and since he's typically running Snow Strider, with his fire resistance shred and her fire resistance shred, he can actually do a pretty decent amount of damage. And our final teammate is obviously going to be Rockstar because of his universal attack buff. You would probably use him in place of Crushed Pepper in a team. Also on screen you can see my Malasauce, which is really bad, and I got her just strong enough so she could participate in raids. No, I didn't follow half of my own advice. But on to the review. I actually think Malasauce is a pretty cool cookie. I always kind of liked her design in Kingdom, but I never got the chance to build her. But you know, she's here in Toa. She's actually really good for Chili Pepper, as her little fire spin thing actually matches up with her perfectly, and just kind of power creeps Cherry. But it's actually kind of cool to see rare cookies being useful. Her promotions aren't too bad either, unlike some other cookies we've talked about. And the only real issue I have with her is that in raids, it's so hard to play her because you don't really know what people are going to be running. So going to tag her is a little risky unless you're partying up with your friends. But overall, I like her. I do think it's very sad though how Cherry is just obsolete now. Wow, power creep happened fast. I will say there aren't really too many tips to give considering she's a really simple rare cookie who is a tagger, but I have two, I guess. My first one is to actually make sure not to dash too early after using your special skill, because if you dash too early, you can actually cancel it. Now, a lot of abilities are like this, but because of the long windup time for it, I think this could happen a little more often. This also makes you more susceptible to getting hit. My second one is that in modes where you're alone, remember that you can actually switch out with the ultimate on you. This is what makes Malasauce incredibly powerful, because she's essentially an off-field DPS, so make sure to utilize that fact. So in summary, Malasauce is a really powerful fire tagger and debuffer, whose special niche is that she can actually do damage while not on the field, and more specifically around the cookie that is active. She's very simple, but also really cool. And kind of fun to play. So yeah, if you like fire cookies, make sure you pick her up. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. There is gameplay after this, so you don't get a proper send-off. But if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And also make sure to check out my Discord server and the Tower of Builds Discord server that provided me with this information. But let the gameplay roll.